Okay. As the test gets closer, we're going to kind of go through some skills that I think will, just a reminder, will help you to get the best possible grade that you can. So you have this sheet, and yours is typed. Mine is hand. So we are going to talk about effective sentence combining and revising when you're asked how can these sentences be combined or how can these sentences be revised on the test, and specifically avoiding comma splices or eliminating those answer choices that either have comma splices or fragments. So go ahead and turn to the front of your little booklet where it says combining and revising sentences, and we're going to take some notes. So first of all, I need to remember that pronouns are important. So my pronouns that I'm going to look for are he, she, it, they, we, our, us. Those are them. There's more: his, her. Okay? And then some other words that I'm going to be cautious of is the word that, that, this, these, and those. Now, the reason why I need to review these is this. Okay, so for combining and revising sentences, I need to remember that oftentimes pronouns start a new sentence. So I need to watch out for comma pronoun in a sentence. Okay, if I have comma pronoun in the middle of a sentence, it needs a white bus word which is also a subordinating conjunction or a word at the front of the sentence in order for it to be correct. So that would make it a DC, comma, IC. Now, so I need to be sure I have a white bus word. If there's no white bus word at the beginning of the sentence, then it is a run on. I don't know why I'm not spelling things correctly. It is a run-on without a white word. The next thing I need to watch out for with pronouns is watch out for pronouns in the middle of a sentence with no punctuation. Oftentimes, these are run-ons. Okay? So I need to watch out for comma pronouns. If there's no white bus word at the beginning of the sentence, then it's a run-on. And I need to watch out for pronouns in the middle of a sentence with no punctuation. Oftentimes, these are run-ons. Another thing I need to watch out for is comma that, comma this, and comma these. Many times this is a run-on. This is a comma splice. Okay? Another thing I need to watch out is for period which. This is going to be wrong if there's no question mark at the end. This is also period who. Comma which and comma is correct. Okay? But period which and period who is wrong unless it's asking me a question. Okay, so now another thing is I need to be careful with period that. Oftentimes to a fragment. Not always, but oftentimes. So let's practice. Let me show you what I'm talking about with these. So I'm going to open my booklet, and you can pause this if you need to write these notes down. But I'm going to open my little booklet, and I have one sentence written 4 different ways. And we need to figure out which one of these is correct. Okay? So let's start with the beginning. When he surfaces, comma. So I'm going to see where they start getting different. He usually has a heavy bag, comma. When he surfaces, comma, he usually has a heavy bag filled. When he surfaces, comma, he usually has a heavy bag filled with hundreds of golf balls, they. When he surfaces, comma, he usually has a heavy bag filled with hundreds of golf balls, that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my highlighter and I'm going to find my dependent clauses first. So I know that is a white buzzword. When. This is my white buzzword. Okay, so look, here's a comma and a pronoun, and then here's another comma and pronoun. Okay, here's a comma and a pronoun. Here's a period and that. Here's a comma and a pronoun. Here's a pronoun without any punctuation. Here's a comma and a pronoun. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my dependent clauses. When he surfaces. So here's my comma and my pronoun. But look, here's my white buzzword that helps make it correct. This makes this correct because it has a white buzzword supporting it. But whenever I get over here, comma, it does not have another white buzzword supporting it. When he surfaces, comma, he usually has a heavy bag, comma, it. This is beginning another independent clause, okay? So this is wrong because this is a comma splice right here. It is a comma pronoun with no white buzzword to support it. This one is supported by this white buzzword. Okay, here's another one. When he surfaces, comma, he. So here's my comma pronoun supported by this white buzzword. So when he surfaces, comma, it's my DC, he usually takes a heavy bag filled with hundreds of golf balls. That's my IC, okay? That have mistakenly landed in the pond. This is where it goes wrong. That have mistakenly landed in the pond is a fragment. That have mistakenly landed in the pond. I don't know what has mistakenly landed in the pond. That have mistakenly landed in the pond. Okay? So that is incorrect because this is a fragment. Now next I have when he surfaces again. So there's my DC, my dependent clause that begins with my subordinating conjunction. Here's my comma pronoun that is supported by my white buzzword. When he surfaces, comma, he usually has a heavy bag filled with hundreds of golf balls. They have mistakenly landed in the pond. Did you hear me pause there? Here, where my new pronoun is, they, there's no punctuation here, okay? There needs to be something there because I started a new sentence whenever I said they. Again, listen to me read it. When he surfaces, he has a heavy bag filled with hundreds of golf balls. They have mistakenly landed in the pond. They have mistakenly landed is in the pond is an IC. It has no proper punctuation. So this is a run-on sentence. Okay? Last one. When he surfaces, there's my DC, my dependent clause. He, there's my pronoun supported by my white busword, usually has a heavy bag filled with hundreds of golf balls that have mistakenly landed in the pond. Here's where my relative clause begins. That have mistakenly landed in the pond is about the golf balls. And I do not use a comma with the word that. So this sentence is correct. It's a DC, comma, IC with a relative clause at the end. That is my relative pronoun. So now you see we had one sentence written 4 different ways. This one was a comma splice. That's correct. This one had a fragment, so that made it incorrect. This one was a run-on sentence because I had my pronoun here with no punctuation and it was starting a new sentence, so that one was incorrect. So the only correct answer was my DC comma with my relative clause at the end. That is a correct sentence pattern. Now you can practice combining and revising sentences using these strategies in your Google form.